Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Self-Taught Saturday. In this episode, we're going to be continuing on doing some really cool and fun watercolors. So let's go ahead and get into the art. So while I sketch and paint this cutie little painting here, I want to talk about something that I was thinking about the other day, and that is the idea that we are or can be off our highest or truest path, and how I really don't actually think that that's real, because there are time periods where we go through things and life is happening and we're living life, and we might not necessarily be as conscious or as purposeful about what we're doing. Those times where we're not as intentional and we're living a little bit more intuitively with life. And I want to say that I think that those periods are just as valid as the times where you are very particular and dedicated and conscious about what you're doing, what you're choosing to do, and the practices that you have. What made me even think about this to begin with is I have been, living my daily life lately, just doing my thing, and I haven't been practicing my yoga and meditation as much. And once I stop doing that, I start to kind of feel guilty. I start to feel like, that's not what I want to be doing. Like, I want to make sure I'm still doing my practices and things that I, want to grow in and get better at. And so it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I've been doing something wrong and that I've been off my path. And then I was actually doing some yoga and meditation. And this is when I was reflecting on this, and I was like, well, actually, I don't think any of the time that I've spent doing other things was wasted time. I don't think I've been doing anything wrong. I don't think I've been doing anything that I wasn't supposed to do. I just wasn't doing everything. And that's life. You can't do everything you want to do all the time in all the different time periods there are. There are time periods where we ebb and flow. There are time periods where it's time for us to be conscious and to grow more and to learn new things. And then there's time periods where we are implementing those things and we're living it. And those things kind of come more naturally and intuitively, and we're just kind of living that everyday, day-to-day life. And that's just as valid as those periods of growth and learning. I do think that being conscious and being intentional are more so like tools rather than things that we have to do, have to use, have to be like, because I do believe that there are people out in the world that are not very conscious, not very intentional about the way that they live their life. Now, you can always strive to be that type of person, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. But I do think that we live such a life that everything kind of comes naturally, that there is no wrong. There's no doing wrong in life. Like, this is life. This is your first time here. Like, this is your first time experiencing this life in this way. There's no way to do it wrong. So if there are time periods where you're not that conscious and intuitive, intentional person, and you are living more intuitively, then that's what was supposed to happen. You were literally supposed to live life like that, at least for a little while, because you did. Everything you've done is perfect. There is no wrong or off in your life path. Your life path doesn't always have to be straight and fixed. It's supposed to be up and down, windy. It might look like it's going back, but it's never in the same spot that it was before. We are always moving forward, even if we can't tell. Sometimes things might just look similar or feel similar, but we're always moving and growing and changing and learning. And I don't think it's a point to beat yourself up about it or feel guilty or shameful that you've been missing out on some of your practices or different things that you've planned on doing. I just think that instead, once you start to realize and think about it, that is just your natural call to go back to them, to start picking those things back up again, to revisit those practices, reevaluate those practices, because being conscious is really great for you to think about your goals, to revisit your goals, to pivot from your goals, and you can use that tool to your advantage. Beating yourself up about it and feeling guilty is just a way that will keep you stuck there, and it won't change anything. The only way that things will change is if you start to do the things that you want to do again. So for example, like me with my yoga and my meditation, I was doing the yoga and meditation when I came to this thought. So it's like, so I had to kind of go through that motion, those time periods where I necessarily wasn't doing the yoga and meditation, to then get me back to it. And now I can get back to it in a different way, a different perspective. And I've got a little bit more life that I've lived while I wasn't necessarily practicing those things. And I say that like it's been a while since I've been practicing. It's literally only been like a month of where, maybe 2 months maximum, where I've been a little bit more busy and my focus has just been somewhere else in life. And so I haven't really had the time or the energy to focus on those things. And honestly, I think that's why I haven't been practicing them, because my life, nothing is going to happen in my life to where I'm going to be beat up about not doing those things. Those are the things that in my life that I can kind of sit down to the side, and they will always be there waiting for me when I'm ready to come back to it. I've been practicing yoga and meditation since I was probably in like the 9th grade in high school, and I am 26 now, so I've been practicing it on and off since then. It is one of those things where I always go back to it, and every time I do, I'm a different person. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I have something else to meditate on, I have different goals. So those ebbs and flows are literally natural, and they are ways that get us back into those things. Now, it might not be the best tool, that my natural inclination is that shame or guilt kind of brought me back to it, but it's a tool nonetheless. It's something that happened and it worked, did it not? Let me know what you guys think about that, and let me know what you think about this cutie little picture. And if you think any of this relates to what I was just talking about, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!